Welcome back to Sports Night. I'm Miss Sports Biz, and class is in session. We're only one game into the NFL season, and already the talk of blackouts and an eventual lockout is casting a dark cloud over the league. Last weekend, only the Bucs faced a blackout, with the Jets escaping the same fate at the last possible minute. However, it's believed that 11 different teams will face blackouts this season. I give a big fat F to the NFL for letting this happen. So how do blackouts happen? Well, any game not sold out 72 hours prior is automatically blacked out in the local market. The rule comes from a law that was signed into effect by President Richard Nixon in 1973 to prevent owners from blacking out games that were sold out. Although the law expired in 1975, the NFL has been voluntarily enforcing the rule ever since. They say that it's necessary in order to ensure that tickets sell. But owners actually make more money from TV revenue than from gate receipts. 18 teams raised their ticket prices this year, and the league average for a ticket is now $77. That's 7 times the current minimum wage. Watch for underperforming teams to struggle to maintain their fan base if this blackout rule continues to be enforced so strenuously. One team that's passing with flying colors in the subject of blackouts is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, at least in week 1. Was it Jaguars fans that caused the sellout, though, or Tim Tebow and Denver Broncos fans? I went to the game, and I talked to fans who had come from as far away as South Florida, South Carolina, and even Denver to catch a glimpse of Tim Tebow. But can the Jaguars really sustain that kind of fan attendance without their prodigal son visiting? That remains to be seen. There's still a little over 2,000 tickets left for their September 26th game against the Eagles and over 3,000 tickets left for the Colts game on October 3rd. But hey, at least you can go to a game this year, right? The 2010 season has just begun, and already talks of a lockout in 2011 are rampant. And last Thursday night's Saints-Vikings game, players from both teams walked onto the field together with one finger raised in the air as a show of solidarity. After the game, we learned that Saints players had unanimously voted to allow the Players Association to decertify in the current collective bargaining negotiations if they reach an impasse. What does this mean? Well, if the association decertifies, the players could file suit against the owners for a number of issues that they're currently unable to assert because they're a union. The last time the union decertified was 1989. They didn't reorganize again until 1993 when the players finally won free agency for themselves. Have I confused you yet? This morning I got a quick history lesson from former Cincinnati Bengals player Carl Parker. Oh, and by the way, he's also the father of Clemson quarterback Kyle Parker. He came into the league on the heels of the 1987 strike and the subsequent decertification by the players in 1989. He told me that veteran players should be careful what they wish for, that sometimes in their fight to raise their own salaries, they price themselves right out of the market. In fact, it happened to him. Several years after he left the league, it was suggested to him that the pool of available receivers was shallow and that he might be able to get back into the league. He says he laughed and told him that they couldn't afford a veteran player like him. The bottom line is that while NFL players absolutely have to stick together or risk the situation of a weak players association like the one the NHL is facing, they also have to be sure that they're thinking long term when they make their demands. Can the players learn from the past? I have a quick update from last week. Chernoff served attention for his comments. And Cellini, well, he was on the dean's list. I'm Miss Sports Biz, and you've just been schooled on the business of sports.
All right, so what do you what is your comment about that?
Just got out of detention this morning, Bob.
You're going right back to detention.
That's right. I'm going to cause more trouble.
You're going to get your knuckles wrapped. That's what happens in detention.
Can you say that on TV?
Yeah, you, Dean's List, what?
That's right. I'm a bright guy.
I'm a bright guy. I'm a very bright guy. By the way, I want to talk about a couple of these things. One of the things that Kristi was talking about is the traditionally strong fan base teams can fill up the stadiums, but they're starting to feel the heat too. After 48-game sellout streak, San Diego Chargers are going to be blacked out this Sunday.
San Diego doesn't shock me, although they're a very good football team. I'm not going to, it's going to sound like I'm making an excuse. That's an incredible weather town with a million things to do. and it's September, so the weather's still gorgeous. You really got to be something special to get me down to the game. And this week, Jacksonville doesn't exactly excite the locals.
Look, the times they are changing with the Red Zone channel,
You are
high
Mr. Cliche.
televisions. You can sit at home and
Peter,
enjoy
Paul,
the
and
game.
Mary, they're gone now.
Please, Bob. You really do. It's not 1967. You really do miss a lot when you're at games,
Yeah.
and especially if you're a fantasy league guy or if you're a gambler. More importantly, you need to be at home in front of that red zone.
Can I
channel.
argue that the blackout rule is the dumbest rule in sports, though? And so, what's the point of the blackout rule? What do you gain by blacking the game?
Getting people to buy tickets.
It doesn't work.
I know it doesn't work. It
doesn't work.
Well, why are the
But that's the
Chargers not
original
able
idea.
to sell out and the Falcons are?
I don't know.
I think when a team's been up here and now the expectations, you see them slowly sinking, that's when you lose your fan base. We saw it with the Atlanta Braves, after the 90s when they sold out every game, and then, man, oh, man,
In
the
all
expectations
honesty,
get higher.
The prices are absurd. I mean, to afford to take 2 or 3 or 4 people to a football game, I mean, in this economy, it's with parking and food. I mean, only Cellini can afford
Over
something like that.
$1,000 a family.
Pay something. It adds
I just
up,
made
Bob.
that up. I don't know what it is. That's not over $1,000, but it could be.